AITA for bringing cash for my meal? I regularly eat with a group of friends and invariably someone forgets their wallet, so we cover them and they pay us back. The last few times I have paid for the person that forgot, and it took me a couple of weeks to collect. Not a big deal but annoying. So I brought cash for my meal and drinks this time. I always have the same thing so I know how much my bill will be. When we were done I put my cash on the table and yup, someone forgot their care. Oopsie. They asked me to pay and they would get me back. I said I also forgot my wallet and only had cash. Just enough to pay for my bill. Someone else offered to pay but was clear that they wanted their money that day. The person who forgot his card then remembered that he could pay with his phone. He approached me outside and said I embarrassed him by making him look like he was cheap or something. I said I wasn't responsible for paying his tab. AITA? He approached me outside and said I embarrassed him by making him look like he was cheap or something. Lol, no. He became embarrassed and then redirected his inability to accept and regulate that onto you. NTA. NTA. Gee. Just remembered he could pay with his phone? Wow. He was the for expecting anyone else to cover him. He showed himself to be a mega for then berating you about it. Good for you for bringing cash and standing up for yourself. NTA, your friend is expecting you to be his personal ATM. He is embarrassing himself. NTA. You are not your friend's bank. Also, I have been out with my friend group for around 15 years. Not once did anyone claim they didn't bring a way to pay. If you go out, at some point it is likely you have to pay something. Routinely, forgetting to bring means of payment is really inconsiderate and disrespectful towards the friend you went out with. And yes, once or twice I could overlook, but after that I'd feel quite a bit disrespected. NTA. This person is trying to use you as his personal interest-free line of credit. You didn't embarrass him. He did that to himself. NTA. This is my kind of petty. You said initially, someone forgets their wallet. Then at the end your friend approached you outside to complain. Sounds like friend was specifically targeting you. Is this a repeat behavior with said friend? If so, we found the Last I checked, friends are not required to pay for each other's meals. This person has been allowed to skate on this in the past and took weeks to pay you back. You owe him nothing. If he can't afford to eat out, he should refrain from going with you. If he's embarrassed, it's his problem. Well played. The only people I've ever known who habitually forget their wallets are either cheapskates or were trying to hide the fact that they don't have enough money at the time. It's never an honest circumstance. NTA. You might as well start bringing cash more often. NTA. And I would continue to do this until Mr. Moocher remembers he's responsible for paying for himself. Lol, busted tears of joy. Info. Who are all these people who regularly forget their wallets? NTA. If asking you for money while knowing full well he can just pay from his phone instead of schmoozing off you was going to be such an embarrassing thing for him, then why'd he do it? NTA. He is cheap. There have been times where I ask a friend if they want to grab food. They say they are tight on money. And I covered them. Keep in mind we're talking buying Jack in the Box in college and stuff like that. But it was never an expectation. NTA. You are not responsible for their bill. Oh, yeah, just remembered. Sure. NTA. NTA. He embarrassed himself. I literally had to start doing this. Bringing cash. When my ex-husband and I were first separated and then divorcing, if we had had dinner together with Our kids, birthdays, holidays, etc. I learned my lesson when we had dinner together with our two youngest after our middle child returned from being out of the country for a year. The poor waiter brought our check, and I was figuring out what my ex and I owed. He didn't touch the check. My ex pretended there wasn't a check. The restaurant was busy and needed to turn our table, so I paid the entire bill. The next morning, my ex was driving back home with our youngest. I was staying with our son to visit longer. We all met for breakfast before they got on the road. I told our waitress that my ex would be on his own check. I got there first without kids since ex doesn't know how to tell time. My check came, and his food was on my check. I protested to the manager. Not done at the table nor in front of my kids. Basically, my ex told, when I went to the bathroom, the poor waitress that it should be on one check. She assumed he'd pay it. My bill was immediately fixed, and the look on my ex's face was priceless. Ever since that weekend 8 or 9 years ago, I always have cash with me that covers my food and 50% of my kids' meals. My ex has learned. NTA lol, this was brilliant. NTA, he keeps doing this? It's intentional. For whatever reason. Especially since he apparently does pay you back? Either way, don't lend this person any more money. He made himself look cheap. Also blows my mind that in a group of adults someone regularly forgets their wallet. Y'all need to grow the hell up if it's frequent and more than one person. You embarrassed him by letting himself make it abundantly clear that he is cheap. NTA. NTA. He wasn't asking if you would pay. He had a very unreasonable expectation that you would pay before he even got there and got upset when you couldn't. And the fact that he paid for it himself after you said no would be very concerning to me. He had the money. He just wanted you to pay anyway.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.